Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different. If you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So, let's see. I want a little green here. I'm telling you, everything looks better with some moss, even if it's fake. This is totally fake moss. Look at it. Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. There we go. There we go. I need to have a vibe going here while I'm doing this. There we go. Okay. Get some green in your life. Okay, there you go. Now, let's begin. Behold. All right. Taking a step aside. And allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay. Oh, I'm seeing like a Trojan horse. And the Trojan horse, you know, it contains war. It's like sneak attack. But I'm seeing this Trojan horse kind of like is carrying something. It's almost like merchant wagons. Like, hey, I come bearing gifts. Oh, so there's something about an energy that has recently come into our life that is showing up one way when in reality it's presenting something else. And whoever's message this is, I'm going to tell you right now how you're going to know, because a lot of you're going to take this as like people that you have online communications with, or people that you see online or whatever. That's not what this reading is about. This reading is very much about entering the city. So somebody who has let someone into their close proximity, their life, their home, their family group, their social settings. Okay, in person. That's what this reading is about. And I know that that's not going to be a lot of you, so this reading's probably only going to be for a few people. I'll probably list it as a when it appears to you reading, because that's kind of how this feels. It feels like one that's going to pop up for people when it's supposed to be for them. But this energy is really kind of coming through in this. I'm feeling a lot of maliciousness, to be honest. It's almost like somebody that is trying to take what's yours. They're trying to take from you. But they're presenting themselves as like being there in your favor. Now, that doesn't mean if you have a new person and you're watching this and this reading happened to come up to you that it's automatically yours. Okay, so the way that you're going to know that this is for you is that recently you've been having a lot of anger towards this newer person, and you've been seeing like the mask fall a little bit. You may not have been seeing it fall to the degree that is necessary in order to elicit this anger, so you may be very confused about it. You may be wondering what's going on. The best advice I can give you, because these are collective readings and not personal readings, is that if you do suspect that that's you, pull your energy back just a little bit and sit in that high priestess energy. The high priestess is someone who doesn't have to, she doesn't have to drink her own Kool-Aid, right? She can have the experience of that anger, but she knows better than to project it onto someone, and she can sit and she can observe from a neutral standpoint and allow someone to show themselves. Stop giving them things. Stop giving them so much time and energy as you do that. Okay, and that's one way that you can kind of navigate the situation and keep yourself safe while you see whether or not this reading actually applies to this person. But for who the person is that I am reading this for, there's definitely this sort of undertone of maliciousness behind this person. And I don't think that it's because they're malicious by nature that they mean to be. They're just not aware. They're not aware of themselves. They're not aware of their jealousy. They're not aware of like how they kind of want the things that you have, and they're not even maybe aware that those things are bad energies, that they're like low vibe energies that they're bringing into your life. But because this person is so unaware, that's why you have to be careful, because an unaware person is a person that's totally capable of hurting you, and they're not even going to consider your feelings. In the end, they'll probably feel like you wronged them. You know what I mean? And I want to say something else, because it's coming through for those of you who you have like a newer person in your life who's always trying to ask you, are you okay? You sound this way, or are you okay? I just felt like this might be going on. I really want to have you consider something, right? Because people project, that's like the nature of what people do. Until a certain point, people project all the time. It's like leaving our poo stains everywhere. It's kind of weird. But I want you to consider that what they're actually doing is they're speaking curses into your life. So if you're a person who does that to other people, consider that. Because essentially your words, going back to the previous reading that I did, your words have a lot of power. And when you're constantly saying to someone, you sound this way, or you feel like you sound like you feel like this, or are you okay, because you seem you're really speaking things into people. And be aware of that. Be aware if someone's in your energy who's doing that. And I personally, the moment someone starts doing that to me, we're done. Like, I do not fuck with that energy. To me, that's like the most insidious form of black magic, is one that's done in the way of like, I care about you, but you know, and maybe it is. Sometimes it comes from a good place. For a lot of people, it comes from a good place, and they're, again, unaware. And that unawareness is essentially what this reading, I'm feeling in the undertone of it, is going to bite you in the butt. So this is why the High Priestess mode is really necessary for somebody right now, to really observe someone. We can't always judge things based off of intentions. We have to judge things based off of what they're actually doing in our lives. Okay. If you want. If you want. Here we go. Two of Wands. I think that whoever this message is genuinely for, these are things that you already see taking place. You may not resonate with someone saying those things to you. It's just something that came through, so that's for some of you. But it does seem to be making a decision about what it is that you actually want to foster. The Queen of Pentacles is the Queen of self-care, but the Queen is really growing something. That's why she's holding that pentacle so lovingly. She's growing something that is made manifest. So what is it that you actually want to invest in? What is it that you actually want to tend to? What do you want growing inside of your life? Because right now it feels a little bit like this fiery energy, like someone is detecting something kind of untoward in said merchant horse, that they are kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I want to be connecting to this. So this is kind of decision time. This is where you need to decide that for yourself. And whenever this reading appears to you, if this is resonating for you, it may be indicating that there's something about to happen, or there's something that's going to require you to make this decision now for your best interest, okay? I'm going to note the Empress was on the bottom. We'll see if she pops out again, because I didn't really feel drawn to pull her, but I felt drawn to say that she was there. So I find that interesting. How do you cultivate your own happiness? 9 of Cups is personal happiness. 10 of Cups is the happiness we share with others. 9 of Cups is required to find 10 of Cups. And so how do you cultivate your own personal happiness? Is this individual, or, you know, for some of you, it might be a situation. Is this new situation, this new job, this new living environment, whatever the case is this actually creating I don't know why I want to say it this way, a culture of happiness inside of your life? Maybe for some of you, it's because it's a friend group that you entered into. 2 of Swords is on the bottom, meaning what do you have to block out? Okay, 2 of Swords right there. So, again, I'm not feeling called to pull it, but we'll see if it comes up again. Okay. Okay, and we have Queen of Wands. For some of you, you know, especially if you resonate as being an empath, there can be a really hard, it's a really hard lesson for a lot of empaths, to be honest, in terms of enacting their own will, because everything's about everybody else's will. You know, if I don't do what they want, well, then they're hurt. And if they don't, you know, if I don't go along with this, then they're going to be hurt. And it's always about other people's feelings all the time. And, you know, it can be really beneficial for you to pull that energy back and understand that you have to focus on your own happiness before you can really be part of a healthy, happy equation. And people are going to get hurt. This is life. This is what happens. You know, your decisions to say no or to hold boundaries against people, they're going to piss people off and they're going to hurt people. That's part of being an adult. And when you learn to use your energy wisely that way and understand that you have to focus on yourself because nobody else is going to live your life, you'll have fewer of those situations where you feel like everyone's burning you, because the truth is everyone's not burning you. You're burning yourself. And as an empath, if you can grasp that and you can, you know, move forward in that energy, it's not going to be easy. because you have a whole lifetime of conditioning behind you that you have to recondition. You have to shampoo it away. You need to, some of you really need to figure out how to tell your heart no sometimes, and to tell your heart that you deserve love and you deserve to give yourself the best too. And with this Queen of Wands, I do see that. I do see that someone is learning how to kind of direct their own willpower in a healthy, constructive way. And if you look, it's almost like she's holding a blind eye to all these flowers, right? Those flowers are like, hey, look at us, we're beautiful, and don't ignore us. You don't want to waste your time with us. But then if she gets close and she sniffs them, she's allergic, right? She'll just have a hay fever sneezing fit all day, and she'll need a bunch of like whatever it is that you have to take for allergies. And her best bet is to keep her eyes closed, keep walking forward, and let her own inner light guide her. And this is really the message for a lot of you, is to not be worried about the other person, their experience. You can't worry about other people to your own detriment all the time. And there's a time and place for that. But I do think that it's a very unhealthy idea that we have here in the spiritual community, that you always have to sacrifice yourself for other people. And if you can get out of that energy, you're going to find that your life actually blossoms, because that's never how you were meant to live your energy or live your life. This Queen of Wands is very interesting because she's got the same color on as this Two of Wands, meaning the Queen is now starting to get control and she's starting to make a decision. So I really like that that's showing up here. It means that whoever this message is for, you already know what you need to decide. You're just working through it. You're just working through how to actually present it, how to bring it forward. Just make sure that you're not sitting in that energy so long because you are trying to avoid the inevitable, which is that you're going to disappoint someone. If you are worried about that, you're probably someone that deals with a lot of shame, or you're probably somebody that deals with a lot of being hard on yourself and taking responsibility for people when you really shouldn't take responsibility for them. So there's a lot of things that are wrapped up in this decision. This is a time for you to heal those aspects of yourself. This is an opportunity for you to see those things and to work through them and to say, why do I feel responsible for other people's feelings? Why, we are to a certain degree, but that's within reason. And when we keep people inside of our lives that are really bringing us down, or that are speaking for some of you, they're speaking these types of curses over us, or they're chiseling away at us, and we can see that it's happening, which is the point of this reading. Someone sees that it's happening. You have to ask yourself why, right? Why do you disown yourself that much? Why are you betraying yourself that much? And this betrayal of self seems to be the underlying energy here that's trying to be navigated. So for some of you, it's not. For some of you, it's you've seen this and you know what you have to do. You're just working up to it, and that's fine. I'm really being drawn to the center cup here, and that center cup almost looks like a face, and it's got like that orange square behind it. So a lot of energies right now regarding that sacral chakra, solar plexus, and the combination of the two working together. Our primal connections are, some of you, sexual connections. For others of you, it's just deep soul level connections and how they impact our solar plexus, our personal self, our energy, our confidence, our nervous system. How we see ourselves, our personal power, our sovereignty. So all of that seems to be affected by whatever this Trojan horse connection is. Okay, we're going to pull from another deck here. Ooh, we're going straight to the tarot. Ooh, hey. Got to keep you on your toes. Yeah, this is definitely something someone's working on. I really like this reading. I really like this reading because this is really an untangling of energies that maybe we had a hard time untangling from before. So whoever this message is for, this is something you've probably worked on this for quite a while for yourself. Being able to see these energies and see certain complexes and being able to kind of navigate through them. It's happening slowly, but it is happening. And this is part of the journey, right? And this is something that you're probably going to see come up from time to time until you really establish your own independence in some way. And this is really hard for people. I'm going to go back to the example of empaths. It's really hard for empaths to establish their own independence a lot of times because they're so busy investing all their energy and their time into other people that they never really learn how to put it into themselves, and so they don't become independent. They actually have a lot of codependence. That's not everyone who resonates as an empath, obviously, but it is an underlying current within the empath collective. So just be aware of that. If you are an empath who's really struggled with your own stability, by doing this work and doing what you're doing here, this is really how you're going to ensure that you find your own stability in the future. It's going to be a little bit of a journey, but you'll get there this way. This is really about balance and finding that balance. And I think that whoever this message is for, you're really trying to be fair. Just make sure that you're not trying to be fair when there's not fairness being exhibited towards you, right? At that point, it's kind of like red alert, get off the ship. For some of you, this may also include a little bit of timing. So for example, if this is someone that you live with, you might have to get certain things in order before you're able to extricate this energy out of your life. I do think right now, the big advice, we're taking the next 3 cards here, the big advice here is to really just kind of protect yourself. And this protection of yourself is really by how much energy are you giving, how much space are you giving, how much time are you allowing, how much of the conversation are you really in. And allow yourself to take some space to yourself. Again, I'm being brought back into that high priestess energy of observing, allowing yourself to observe the dynamic. And by pulling things back, you might notice that the dynamic shifts just a little bit, that this is something that you can salvage in terms of a friendship if you want to. It doesn't mean you have to. And sometimes the hardest ones to disconnect from are the ones that you feel like, wow, like we're such good friends. It's just that this is so toxic on this level, and having to realize that going forward with that, you're betraying yourself. So you have to practice discernment in how you're going to handle this after things are kind of wrapped up. I do think that the events of this situation are going to pick up very quickly, and the reason why I'm saying that is the Knight of Swords. For me, that's the last card. There may be some hostile communication or some very quick moving communication, and things may find a conclusion very quickly. So just be prepared for that, and allow yourself to kind of sit in the space of understanding that something is wrapping up here inside your life. It feels almost like this reading is coming through as like a good job reading. Like, hey, you spotted it, you picked yourself, and you're gonna close this out the way it needs to close out, not the way you want it to close out, right? I think a lot of us, we look for closure and we look for those peaceful endings, and unfortunately, that's not what you're always gonna find. That's not what you're always gonna have. And being able to accept that is going to be a really useful tool for you inside your toolbox to understand that sometimes you just have to end something. So I don't know in what context this is, but for those of you who are experiencing this energy right now, I wish you the best of luck. And if this resonates for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment. And until next time.